figure out how to age in place at home and to take control of your financial future, you're going to want to be a part of the conversation, this next guest. But I'd be remiss if I didn't take a second and thank our sponsors for today. Our sponsors that help put this entire programming on for you. Web Insurance and St. Charles Financial. Let Web Insurance be your guide. And remember, they put together some attendance prizes for you guys today. Just like going to a baseball game, they put together this program. Are you ready to take control of your financial future but not sure where to start? Imagine having a clear, actionable, tailored plan to your financial needs, goals, and comfort level. Today, we're offering you 3 incredible tools as an attendance prize just for attending the live cast today. Let me tell you a quick story about, we'll call this guy John. John, like many of you, was unsure about his financial readiness. He had dreams of retiring comfortably, sending the kids to college, leaving a legacy for his family, but he didn't have a clear plan in order to make that dream a reality. So John decided to take the first step. He got our readiness scorecard. He was able to get his readiness in line to make sure that his finances were secure and he was ready for the future with his children, with his legacy, with all of the goals that he had. Then, empowered by this knowledge, John was able to take our planner, organize his finances. This is a $1,500 planner that we put together for you guys with step-by-step ways to organize your finances around your future. Once he gathered everything, he was able to schedule an appointment with an advisor, and now John feels comfortable moving forward. Remember, the financial scorecard is a $25 value. This is an easy-to-use tool to assess your current financial situation and readiness. It's the first step in understanding where you are and what you need to do to achieve your financial goals. In order to get that scorecard, go to webinsurance.com/scorecard. Then we're also offering you a comprehensive financial planner. This is the same planner we use with all of our private clients. It's detailed. It provides you the step-by-step organizing frameworks that you need to cover your budget, your savings, investment, retirement, all the things that you're looking for towards your future. If you want this comprehensive planner, go to webinsurance.com/planner. Again, it's a $1,500 value. And I can't put a value on sitting down and actually meeting with somebody from the organization that can help you ensure your secure future. If you want to schedule an appointment with somebody to talk to about these things, go to www.webinsurance.com/schedule. That's our free attendance prizes and our tools and resources we're providing for you just for attending for today's show. Now, let's talk about Linda Priya. Linda holds a degree in political science from Stevens College in Columbia and public administration from Maryville University in St. Louis. Over 20 years, Linda has been educating all ages and groups of people, formally and informally, as a guest speaker and teacher. At Hickory College, Linda educated high schoolers on interpersonal skills that would help them garner success in the future. She's a commitment to this education for you guys. From there, she moved into the medical field, educating seniors and their family as a community educator in her current role as an outreach manager, and continued. Relying on training, observation, and practical experience, Linda helps families. She helps patients and social workers, medical personnel, see through a wide range of needs of the senior and their family. So she's not only helping the senior, she's helping the family as the seniors transition through levels of care. I would like to bring Linda Priya to the show. Linda, are you there?
I'm here.
There you are. Wow. Thank you for taking the time to meet with us. I know that you are enjoying family vacation, but you put this entire opportunity together even while you're on vacation. That shows your commitment to
Yes, it is something I'm really committed to. And Nathan, you may not know this, but I'm spending part of my time developing a podcast that also is helping people understand the importance of planning as they age and what the concept of aging in place is. So that is another way that I'm working to educate people from a broader perspective. But I do want to thank St. Charles Financial and Web Insurance for offering this amazing seminar. And yes, I'm on vacation and I've been in Washington, D.C. and then traveled over to Charlottesville where I toured Thomas Jefferson's home. And I just want you to know that our founding fathers thought that knowledge was very important and knowledge was power. And from what you're going to hear from myself and from others that you've already heard from Jerry and Jordan, is that knowledge is power, and it helps us to learn what we need to know so that we can formulate a plan. And the plan that I want to share more information about is how to age in place at home. I know that Jordan gave some statistics, but honestly, less than 20% of aging seniors will actually move into or need the highest level of care. Okay, so there are a lot of options out there for you as you age. In fact, you're probably driving by many options all the time: assisted living, independent living. But it is very likely that people will start the process of aging in place at home. It's not to say that you won't make another decision, but maybe the first decision will to see how you can age in place at home. So the definition of aging in place is when a person decides to live and age, and I'm going to use the word safely, in their residence of choice for as long as they are able to. But people who want to age in place will also make reasonable adjustments as their care needs change. They will probably hire some help, and they will probably also hire additional help to maintain their property, okay, so that it is sellable if needed in the future. So when you choose the aging in place model, you retain the quality of life that you are choosing for yourself. And it is possible, actually, to receive as much or as little care at home as you need, and then to hire the extra support that you need for home maintenance when those tasks become more difficult to do. What many people do is they coordinate the medical care that they need at home, which is already established through Medicare, but you're also able to access additional personal care services that you might need as you age. So here's the important point that Jerry and Jordan were throwing out, and I'm going to validate that point, is whatever you choose to do as you age, it is going to be coming from your pocket. These services are private pay. There are services available to those with lower income or who have not as many assets, but there will be a wealth transfer. It will be coming from your pocket. But this is why you saved, and this is why you planned, is so that you can choose.
Yeah, Linda, so I appreciate you being on talking about aging in place, because aging in place is something that's always been important and impactful for my family. I know that my grandmother and grandfather wanted to be in their home as long as they physically could. I've got a current grandmother that is still living. She's 85 years old, still living at home, independent, on her own, able to do a lot of these things on her own. How do you determine if somebody's starting to need help to age in place, and how do you select the right providers and care?
Yeah, I mean, that's really important. I think multiple hospitalizations are a big clue that something's not going right at home, either from a health perspective or maybe in lifestyle choices. So obviously, multiple hospitalizations, increased medications. When you're going to the home to visit, what does it look like? Are they on top of the situation, or are you starting to see a pattern that really is not their norm? And has there been a lot of loss of weight? Sometimes just losing weight rapidly for a senior can really indicate that something's not going well. Either it could be a disease process, or it could be that they're simply forgetting to eat. So there are some telltale signs, but sometimes you don't want to make a leap. You've heard the expression, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. And so that is where you want to start looking for a company that can offer a platform where we can come in and assess and evaluate what's going on, listen to the financial picture, what they can afford, what they can't afford, but also being honest and doing third-party assessments so that we have a clear idea of what is going on with your health and how successfully you're being able to live at home. So I work for Continuum Private Duty Home Care and our family of services. And to all the clients, we offer a free, no obligation visit so that we can come in and have a conversation. And that's really what it's going to be. Questions are asked, we're able to answer, we're able to provide additional care coordination when that might be requested by the family because there are so many parts and pieces that need to be put together. But we can help people recover from a health crisis. We can even help offer ongoing support, such as dressing and grooming, toileting, bathing, maybe some light housekeeping can be offered, putting a meal together, transportation to appointments. But to come in and to offer a program that is acceptable to the pocketbook and to the health needs that are going on at that point. These services that people are going to get are always, you're able to end them. You're not committed for long term. So they usually come with a 24-hour cancellation policy attached to them. And so many times clients begin with a very small number of hours of care, maybe 4 to 8 hours a week. They might slide up and have more care if they're in a health crisis, slide back down when they're feeling better, or as their health care needs have really started to change for long term, then they might keep care services in home. So definitely a company that is experienced, somebody that can offer those third-party assessments and then offer additional case management is a very good way to secure quality care.
Now, Linda, I'd like to talk a little bit about just dementia in general. It's a rough topic. I used to work in the hearing industry, and I know that hearing loss leads to being 5 times more likely to develop cognitive conditions. So it's an early sign that you might want to get your hearing checks that you don't have cognitive conditions. However, outside of that, what are some ways that families can start to pay attention to understand that dementia and have those conversations? That's a tough conversation to have with somebody, like, hey, we need to get you more care because you might have a cognitive issue.
Yeah, it's all the approach, but when we have discovered that somebody does have some dementia, they might not be the person who would agree that they have dementia. And so having that conversation with somebody who doesn't acknowledge that there's a problem can be difficult. Ray is our legal expert on our senior services resource, and of course consulting with an attorney to make sure that you have the proper power of attorney documents in place at a time when a person isn't so far gone in their memory that they can't make those decisions. So ways we recognize that again is what's going on in the home. What are we beginning to see? Is the parent living like they've always lived or not? Are they forgetting to pay bills? Are they repeating stories and over again? Don't take that as a solid thing because sometimes I do that as well. But repetitive. So we find that when we're having conversations with people, and it's just simple conversations, where do you live? What's your address? What did you do yesterday? We begin to determine levels of cognition. And when we're in a home environment and having those conversations, sometimes they can really fake it. But if you're in there for long enough, maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes, those stories, they start repeating their stories again. So those are good indicators of what we're beginning to see. I am a firm believer in stimulation and appropriate stimulation and oversight for the caregivers of somebody who had dementia. So while we value care in the home, I just want you to understand that the adult day programs that are available now in many neighborhoods and communities are wonderful programs. It's a great first step to helping someone get the cognitive stimulation they need, so that their dementia doesn't just take a downward slide. We see with the right stimulation, with the right prevention, that people can do quite well and they can actually live at home for quite a long time.
That's incredible. I mean, that's so important that people are able to identify it, understand it, have those conversations as a family, have the proper estate plans in place, and be able to work with specialists like you that can understand, is this person capable of aging at home? Is this something where we maybe need a little bit more support? Those things are incredibly important. And when should somebody contact a specialist like you? How do they know now's the time I need to reach out?
Yes, I would say sooner is better than later. It never hurts to just make an introductory phone call and just find out what some of the pricing is going to look like. Generally, there's always indicators along the way. You know, obviously we understand that life happens. It definitely happens. We know that. We can still work with that, even when life happens and you're thrown a curveball. But like the people who are participating today are going to hear that advanced planning is important because we can help you navigate this with your loved one. And so many of our first phone calls are either from aging spouses or they're from family members who have been delegated this responsibility of figuring out what to do next. And so we're able to meet with the client, the future client, potential client for where they are right now, and then to sort of lay out what plan A might look like. And if plan A doesn't seem like it's going to work in a week from now we have to move to plan B. But because we have done this successfully over the last 20 something years, we know where to begin and how to guide people. So I would say that sooner is better than later, but definitely if you find yourself in that curveball situation with a health crisis, don't hesitate to call because there are options and you want to get good advice. And that's where the knowledge piece comes in.
I mean, Linda, what you're really talking about is just having a game plan. Right?
Absolutely.
Knowing what's going to happen before it happens. You can't go into a baseball game and just wing it and win the game. Just like you can't go into a baseball game and wing it and win the game. You can't go into planning for your future, whether it's your health, whether it's where you're going to live, or whether it's your finances. You can't just wing it. Is there any stories of people that have gotten to you that have wung it too long?
Well, I just want to say, as a person who works in this space and helps people navigate in this space, I was also a caregiver for aging parents. And I can tell you that you don't get the straight path. You have to figure this out. So to think that an ordinary person is going to be able to navigate all this, not really likely, unless it's really very simple. When things get complicated, that's when you're going to need your team of professionals. So as you know, I'm traveling, so I was kind of working on my presentation for today, and I was sitting in the lobby, and I could just tell that the conversation was, it was adult children discussing what and how they were going to take care of their loved one, and just not even knowing the situation. What I heard was the loudest voice in the room. And so that loudest voice was going to share their opinion over and over and over again. And then the softest voice in the room didn't even speak. And then another person was offering a dissenting opinion. And so how are you going to make a decision in that kind of environment? And if you don't know the facts, that's going to really make it challenging. So anytime you have multiple opinions, not based on fact, not knowing what the actual score is, to follow our metaphor for today, you're going to wing it in the wrong direction. And so we get calls from people who will say to us, we wish we would have listened to you guys. We wish that we would have followed your guidance because now my parents has been in the hospital 2 more times. Now we're looking at more care. Our options are less. So this is unfortunately what happens.
And this is why it's so critical that if you have aging parents, you're a caretaker, you have a situation that's going on, you get in contact with Linda, because you also need to learn the process for yourself so you can have those conversations with your family about who to get in contact with, where to go, put it in your book. Heck, maybe it's in your planner that you got from Web Insurance on today's call to make sure that you have everything documented that you need maybe they can help share some